Some books are chosen by you, and others arrive when your soul is ready. This is one of those rare encounters. If these words have reached you now, it is no accident. It is a quiet alignment between your inner world and a deeper truth calling to be remembered. This book has not simply appeared, it has found its moment through you. The Sacred Path Introduction. Across the vastness of time, a subtle truth has echoed through generations, whispered in silence, carried in wisdom, and preserved in the unseen currents of existence. It speaks of a universal force, an energy that flows through everything. It shapes mountains, guides the stars across the night sky, and lives within the quiet center of your own being. What you hold is more than a collection of words. It is a doorway, a key that arrives only when the moment is right. The universe, in its boundless intelligence, has guided you here because something within you is ready to receive it. These teachings are ancient, yet timeless. They reveal eternal principles, not man-made ideas, but the very structure upon which reality is built. Invisible yet ever-present, these laws shape every success, every transformation, every moment of grace you've ever experienced. As you move through these pages, you may begin to realize something profound. This is not new knowledge, it is remembrance. These truths already live within you, in your quiet thoughts, your dreams, your intuition. This book does not teach you, it reflects you. It reveals what your soul has always known. The journey ahead will not add anything to you. Instead, it will gently remove the layers of illusion, uncovering the radiant presence that has always existed beneath. What lies ahead is both ancient and fresh, a path of rediscovery, unfolding step by step. This is your moment of awakening. Trust it. Part 1. The Awakening of the Soul. Chapter 1. The Book That Finds You. In a forgotten corner of an old marketplace, an elderly traveler named Evelyn once discovered a worn, leather-bound book hidden within a dusty chest. As she lifted it, she felt an unusual weight, not just physical, but something deeper. Its cover shimmered with golden letters, yet when she opened it, the title vanished, leaving behind pages filled with words that seemed to speak directly to her soul. Much like Evelyn, you have come across something meant for you. This is not chance, it is timing, a meeting arranged far beyond the surface of this moment. There is a quiet law at work here. When the soul reaches a certain state of readiness, it naturally attracts the wisdom it needs. Just as a flower blooms when the season calls it forth, understanding reveals itself when you are aligned with it. Sacred teachings are not lifeless. They carry energy, presence, awareness. They do not simply sit waiting to be found. They resonate, drawing in those who are prepared to receive them. Your presence here is a sign of that readiness. There was once a librarian named Henry who spent decades surrounded by books. Every day, he passed by a particular volume without ever opening it. Then one day, after losing his wife, something within him shifted. He reached for that same book, and within its pages, he found exactly what his heart needed in that moment. Like Henry, you have crossed many paths of knowledge before arriving here, but now is different. Now, something within you has opened. Take a moment, light a candle, sit in stillness, ask yourself quietly, why has this book come into my life now? Let your thoughts flow freely onto the page. Do not filter or judge them. Trust that whatever emerges carries meaning. Your soul is speaking. This is simply the moment you chose to listen. Chapter 2. The Law That Shapes the Stars and Your Life. On a quiet summer night, a young girl named Clara once lay beneath the sky, gazing at the stars beside her grandfather. "Why don't they fall?" she asked softly. He smiled and replied, "Because they are held by the same force that holds everything together, the great law of attraction." This law is not distant or abstract. It is alive within your own life, guiding every experience, whether you notice it or not. Just as planets move in harmony, your reality unfolds according to this same principle. The law of attraction is more than wishful thinking. It is the mechanism of creation itself. Like a tuning fork responding to its matching frequency, the universe reflects the energy you emit. Every thought you think, every feeling you hold sends out a signal, and the universe responds not with judgment, but with precision. It matches your inner state with outer experience. You are, in essence, a transmitter, constantly shaping your reality through your inner world. Consider a craftsman named Walter. When he worked with joy and presence, his creations became extraordinary, admired, and cherished. But when frustration filled his mind, even his best efforts seemed flawed. The wood didn't change, his state did. And so, the outcome changed with it. As you begin to observe your own life, notice this pattern. Your emotions come first, and your results follow. The universe is not responding to your words or actions, but to the vibrational offering that underlies them. This is why identical actions can yield vastly different results. The crucial difference lies in the unseen frequency you emit. Begin each day with this sacred practice. As morning light breaks, find a quiet space. Place your hand upon your heart and feel its steady rhythm. Take 3 deep breaths, and with each exhale, release any discord within. Then speak these words with the full power of your being. I am in perfect harmony with the universe. My frequency attracts all that serves my highest good. Let this vibration become your morning star, guiding you toward conscious creation. Chapter 3. The Seed Beneath the Stone. In a small garden at the edge of town, Mabel knelt in the rich earth day after day. Her neighbors watched with bemused expressions as she tenderly cared for what appeared to be empty soil. They did not know that, beneath the surface, a rare golden lotus seed lay dormant, waiting for the perfect moment to emerge. You stand now at a similar threshold. The seeds of your desires have been planted in the fertile soil of the universe, and though your eyes may see no movement, great forces are at work beneath the surface. This is the mystery of manifestation. It begins in the unseen realm, taking form first in subtle dimensions before emerging into physical reality. Just as a seed must first crack open in darkness before it can reach toward the light, your manifestations often begin their journey in ways invisible to the physical eye. The universe operates through natural laws that honor the process of becoming. No flower blooms without first growing roots. No dream manifests without first taking shape in the ethereal realm. Your task is not to force the seed to grow, but to maintain unwavering faith in its inevitable emergence. When you trust in the unseen workings of the universe, you align with the very power that transforms seeds into forests. Your belief becomes the water that nourishes the soul of possibility. Calvin, an inventor in a distant city, worked for years on a device to harness the power of waves. After countless failed attempts, he surrendered his dream, packing away his blueprints with a heavy heart. The very next morning, while watching his daughter play with ripples in her bath, the solution appeared with crystal clarity. His breakthrough came not through forcing, but through releasing, allowing the universe to work through him rather than by him. Your manifestations follow this same divine timing. What appears as delay is often divine preparation. What feels like silence may be the universe orchestrating countless unseen elements on your behalf. Trust in this process. Honor the sacred gestation period of your dreams. Close your eyes now and envision a tiny seed in dark soil. Feel the life force stirring within it, the invisible process of becoming. Watch as it slowly splits open, extending its first tender root downward. See it sending up a small shoot that pushes through the earth, reaching towards sunlight. Observe its gradual transformation into a mighty tree, knowing that every stage, even those hidden from view, is essential to its completion. Write these words in your journal. I trust in the unseen unfolding of my desires. Like a seed becoming a tree, my manifestations are taking form in perfect divine timing. Let this truth take root in your heart, knowing that the universe's wisdom far exceeds what your physical eyes can perceive. Chapter 4. The Illusion of the Mask. In a dimly lit theater, Elelana stood before her dressing room mirror, applying the finishing touches to her stage makeup. For 20 years, she had played countless roles, queens and peasants, heroes and villains, until one evening, as she wiped away the last traces of her character, she could no longer find her own face beneath. The mask you wear may feel like protection, but it has become a prison. Each day, you step onto the stage of life, performing the role others expect. You smile when custom demands it, speak words that belong to a script written by society, and move through your days as though following careful choreography. Yet beneath this performance lies a truth waiting to emerge. The law of attraction operates through authenticity, not artifice. When you project an image that differs from your inner reality, you create discord in the universal frequency. This misalignment manifests as a life that feels hollow, achievements that bring no joy, and relationships that touch only the surface of who you are. Your true power awakens only when you allow yourself to be seen, first by yourself, then by the world. Consider how your self-concept was formed. Like clay shaped by many hands, your identity bears the fingerprints of parents, teachers, friends, and strangers. Their expectations, fears, and judgments have molded you into a character that may no longer resemble your authentic self. Yet the law of attraction responds not to the role you play, but to the truth of who you are. In a small town lived Frank, known as Francis for 60 years because of a clerical error on his birth certificate. He lived as Francis, answered to Francis, became Francis, until the day he discovered an old family Bible in his grandmother's attic. There, written in faded ink, was his true name, Franklin, after the morning star that had shone at his birth. In that moment of recognition, tears fell from his eyes. He had always felt like a Franklin, strong and bright, but had dimmed himself to fit inside another's mistake. You are not the name others have given you, nor the role you have learned to play. The universe knows your true identity. It vibrates in harmony with your authentic self, waiting for you to claim it. Sacred practice. Find a quiet, sacred space with a mirror where you won't be disturbed. Light a white or golden candle, placing it where its gentle glow illuminates your face. For several minutes, or as long as your spirit calls you, gaze steadily into your reflection. Let the flickering flame cast dancing shadows across your features as you look deeply into your own eyes, seeing beyond the physical form to glimpse the eternal soul within. This ancient practice of mirror meditation, known to mystics throughout the ages, opens a gateway between your earthly presence and your eternal spirit, allowing you to witness the divine light that has always resided within you. Chapter 5: The Mirror of Light and Shadow. In a sunlit studio atop a quiet hill, Helen stood before her easel, her brush trembling in her hand. Each portrait she painted bore the same haunting expression, eyes filled with loneliness, lips curved in quiet despair. Though her subjects varied from children to elders, their faces all reflected the same shadow that dwelled within her own heart. You live in a universe that operates as a cosmic mirror, reflecting back the essence of your inner world with perfect precision. What you see in your daily experience is not random circumstance, but a reflection of the beliefs, emotions, and thoughts you hold within. The law of reflection reveals that life does not happen to you, it responds to you. When you gaze upon your circumstances, you witness your consciousness made manifest. Your relationships echo your self-worth. Your abundance mirrors your beliefs about deserving. Your health reflects your inner harmony. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, does not judge these inner contents. It simply reflects them back with unwavering accuracy. This mirror operates through the law of attraction, but goes deeper still. It shows you not just what you think about, but what you believe to be true about yourself and the nature of reality. These beliefs may lie buried beneath conscious awareness, yet they shape your experience with sovereign power. George was known throughout his village for his kindness to others. Yet despite his generous nature, he found himself surrounded by people who treated him with coldness and distance. For years, he could not understand why his warmth was met with frost, until he recognized the ancient resentment he carried within. Though hidden from his conscious mind, this buried pain colored all his interactions, causing him to expect rejection even as he offered love. Only when he healed this wound did the mirror of his relationships begin to shift, reflecting back the warmth he had finally allowed himself to feel. Your life speaks to you through reflections. Each experience offers insight into your inner landscape. When you encounter recurring patterns in relationships, work, or any area of life, look within. The external circumstance is showing you where healing awaits. Sacred practice. In the soft light of dawn or dusk, take your journal in hand, right at the top of a fresh page. What parts of my life are mirroring back unhealed beliefs? Let your pen flow freely, recording without judgment whatever arises. Look especially at recurring patterns. These are the universe's most persistent reflections, calling for your attention and healing. Notice where resistance appears, for this too is a mirror. Pay close attention to relationships or situations that consistently trigger emotional responses, as these are sacred messengers guiding you toward inner transformation. Chapter 6. The Voice Behind the Silence. In a cottage among whispering pines, Irene woke each morning to a peculiar occurrence. As dawn's first light filtered through her window, the morning breeze carried the same gentle message: remember who you are. At first, she dismissed it as grief's imagination. Her beloved husband had passed just months before. Yet, day after day, the whisper persisted, growing clearer with each sunrise. You possess an inner compass, a sacred knowing that speaks in the language of subtle signs. The universe communicates not through thunderous proclamations, but through the gentle brush of intuition against your consciousness. This voice of inner wisdom has guided humanity since time immemorial, though in modern life its whisper is often drowned beneath the noise of daily living. Your intuition speaks through many channels: the sudden knowing that arrives without reason, the recurring symbol that catches your eye, the synchronicities that seem too perfect to be chance. These are not coincidences, but divine breadcrumbs leading you along your destined path. When you learn to attune to this subtle guidance, life begins to flow with remarkable grace and precision. In a small workshop in the heart of an ancient city, Samuel crafted the most precise timepieces anyone had ever known. Though his eyes had never seen light, his fingers moved across gears and springs with uncanny accuracy. "I listen to the metal," he would say, "and it tells me where it belongs." His blindness became his greatest gift, for in the absence of sight, he learned to trust a deeper way of knowing. You too possess this ability to sense truth beyond the physical senses. Each time you've known something without understanding how, each time you've felt drawn toward or away from a choice without logical explanation, you have touched this sacred current of inner wisdom. When you dismiss these subtle promptings, you ignore the universe's attempt to guide you toward your highest good. Your logical mind may demand proof, but wisdom often arrives before explanation. Trust first, and understanding will follow. Sacred practice. Find a quiet place in nature, a garden, a forest path, or simply a peaceful corner beneath the sky. Sit in stillness for 20 minutes, allowing your breath to slow and your mind to quiet. Listen not with your ears, but with your entire being. Notice what subtle messages arise within. Afterward, write in your journal what you received, even if it seems insignificant. With practice, this inner voice will grow stronger, becoming your most trusted guide on the sacred path. Chapter 7. The path reveals itself as you walk. In a time before digital maps and satellite views, Dorothy created the most exquisite hand-drawn maps anyone had ever seen. Her cartography studio overlooked the sea, where she meticulously charted coastlines and mountain ranges. Yet one morning, after decades of mapping every conceivable path, she gathered all her work and cast it into the flames. She had discovered a truth that changed everything. No map could capture the living path that unfolds before each soul. You stand now at the threshold of understanding a vital truth about your journey. The universe does not reveal the entire path at once, for such foreknowledge would rob you of the wisdom found in each step. Many remain frozen in hesitation, waiting for perfect clarity before moving forward. Yet clarity arises through motion, not through waiting. The law of attraction responds to energy in motion. When you take inspired action, even amid uncertainty, you activate forces beyond your understanding. Each step forward sends ripples through the fabric of creation, calling forth the next revelation. Your movement becomes a prayer, your action a declaration of trust. Do not wait to see the entire staircase before taking the first step. The universe honors courage over certainty, trust over complete knowledge. As you move, the path reveals itself, each step illuminating just enough ground for the next. In the misty valleys of an ancient land, Howard sought a legendary bridge said to connect two distant peaks. For days, he studied the fog-shrouded canyon, hoping for clarity. But the revelation came only when he began walking into the mist. With each step, the fog parted just enough to reveal the next foothold. The bridge, invisible from afar, formed beneath his feet only as he moved forward. Your path, like Howard's bridge, exists in potential until your movement calls it into being. The fog before you is not an obstacle, it is the canvas upon which your path will appear. The universe responds not to your readiness, but to your willingness to begin. Sacred practice. Today, take one decisive action that moves you closer to your destiny. Choose something that both excites and slightly unsettles you. This is the edge of growth. Before acting, place your hand upon your heart and say, "I trust in the wisdom of the unfolding path." Then, without hesitation, take that first step. Write down what you did and what you felt. Let it become your testament to trust in motion. Chapter 8. The Law Hidden in Plain Sight. In the heart of an ancient city, Beatrice tended a bookshop passed down through 7 generations. Each morning, she traced her fingers along weathered spines, uncovering treasures hidden in plain sight. One day, while restoring texts from different eras and cultures, she noticed something extraordinary, the same truth appearing again and again, as within, so without. These words surfaced in Hermetic manuscripts, Buddhist sutras, quantum physics journals, and indigenous teachings. The universe has woven this singular truth into every sacred tradition and scientific discovery. What mystics whispered in temples, physicists now observe in laboratories. The law of attraction is not new, it is foundational, expressing itself across all forms of understanding. In your own life, this law operates whether you recognize it or not. Every tradition echoes it. Ask, and it shall be given. As you sow, so shall you reap. Your faith has made you whole. Science reflects the same wisdom through quantum observation, neuroplasticity, and mirror neurons. These are not separate ideas, but different expressions of one truth. The universe ensures this knowledge remains accessible, hiding it in plain sight, within stories, nature, and human experience. Ralph, a professor of quantum physics, spent decades searching for the fundamental nature of reality. One evening, while studying the double-slit experiment, he suddenly laughed. The equations describing particle behavior mirrored exactly what ancient spiritual teachings had said about consciousness shaping reality. Science had brought him full circle. What Ralph discovered through equations, you have always known within. This truth is not new, it is remembered. Sacred practice. Reflect on your recent experiences. Write down 3 coincidences that now feel meaningful, moments that carried hidden guidance. As you do, notice how the universe has been gently guiding you all along. These are not random events, but confirmations of your alignment with a deeper truth. Chapter 9. The Design Behind Coincidence. In a bustling marketplace, Agnes stood before a flower vendor, her mind heavy with doubt. After 30 years of teaching, retirement had left her questioning her impact. At that very moment, a voice called out, "Mrs. Agnes, do you remember me?" A young woman approached, Maria, a former student from years ago. Tears filled her eyes as she spoke. "Your words about never giving up changed my life. I now run a school for underprivileged children." In that moment, Agnes received the exact reassurance her soul had been seeking. The universe operates through perfect timing, arranging encounters that seem random but carry deep meaning. What you call coincidence is synchronicity, alignment guided by a greater intelligence. These moments arise not by chance, but through the magnetic resonance of your inner state, drawing forth exactly what your soul needs. When you trust in this timing, life begins to unfold with precision. Each event, each encounter holds purpose beyond immediate understanding. The law of attraction governs not only what manifests, but when. Think of the times when the right person appeared at the perfect moment, or when a setback revealed itself as a hidden blessing. These are signs of a deeper orchestration at work. Norman, a merchant in a coastal town, once lost his wallet containing vital contracts. His search led him to a small cafe where a stranger named Thomas had found it. As they spoke, they discovered shared visions, and that unexpected meeting became the foundation of a partnership that transformed both their lives. What seemed like misfortune became opportunity. Your life, too, is filled with such moments, each one part of a greater design, unfolding with quiet perfection. Those moments you once dismissed as random now reveal themselves as carefully placed stepping stones. Each delay, each unexpected encounter, each apparent coincidence serves the unfolding of your highest good. The universe knows not just what to bring you, but exactly when you need it. Sacred practice. Sit in quiet reflection and recall 5 moments in your life that seemed random or even unfortunate at the time, but later proved essential to your path. Perhaps it was a missed connection that led to an important meeting, or a delayed plan that protected you from unseen circumstances. Write these instances down, noting how divine timing revealed its wisdom only in retrospect. Feel the deep assurance that comes from recognizing the perfect orchestration of your life's unfolding. Chapter 10: The First Key. In the dimness of her study, Edith sat surrounded by towers of scientific journals and academic texts. Her fingers traced the spine of a book she had sworn never to open, a book about universal laws and spiritual truths. As a professor of comparative literature, she had spent decades dissecting myths and dismissing mystical teachings as mere fiction. Yet here she was, drawn to these pages by an inexplicable force she could no longer rationalize away. The journey from skepticism to sacred possibility does not begin with certainty, but with a quiet opening, a door long closed, gently pushed ajar. Your willingness to explore beyond what you already know creates the first ripple in the fabric of possibility. The law of attraction responds most powerfully not to desperation or logic, but to expectation, the subtle knowing that more is possible. Belief is not a demand placed upon you, it is an invitation extended by your soul. Like tending a fragile flame, you do not need to believe everything at once. The simple willingness to consider new possibilities begins to shift your inner frequency. This openness becomes the bridge between what is and what could be. In a distant valley, Victor stood before his empty fields, holding a handful of unusual seeds that no one believed would grow in that soil. Against all advice, he invested everything in a vision that had come to him in stillness. Months passed. Then, as the first shoots broke through the earth, they brought not only a new harvest, but a new understanding. His willingness to trust beyond accepted limits transformed both his life and his perception of what was possible. Your transformation begins the same way, with willingness. You are not asked to abandon reason or accept blindly, but simply to make space for possibility. When you whisper, perhaps, to the universe, you open a doorway. Even the smallest opening in your doubt allows light to enter, revealing paths once hidden. Sacred practice. Stand before a mirror or sit in stillness. Speak these words aloud with gentle intention. I am willing to believe that more is possible for me. Feel how these words resonate within your body. Then write this phrase 10 times, allowing each repetition to sink deeper into your awareness. Let it become an invitation to yourself and to the universe. Part 2: The Art of Remembering and Realignment. Chapter 11: The Alchemy of Thought. In a small mountain village, Martha sat at her loom each morning, her fingers hovering over threads of countless colors. Something had changed in her weaving. Where once she followed fixed patterns, now her hands moved as if guided by something unseen. Her thoughts themselves seemed to shape the designs emerging beneath her touch. Your thoughts are not empty whispers, they are the architects of reality. Each thought carries a frequency, a vibration that ripples through existence. The law of attraction responds not only to what you think, but to the emotional energy behind those thoughts. Within your mind, each idea becomes a thread in the tapestry of your life. When clear intention is paired with genuine feeling, it becomes a command the universe responds to. This is not simple positive thinking, it is conscious creation. Your mind is not meant to be silenced, but directed. It is a powerful instrument waiting to be tuned to your highest vision. When you align thought with feeling, you transform potential into reality, the invisible into the visible. In a busy garage, Leonard spent his days repairing engines, but his true mastery lay elsewhere. Each evening, he would close his eyes and vividly imagine the life he desired, feeling its reality as if it already existed. Over time, those inner visions began to take form, until his outer world reflected the blueprint he had created within. Like Leonard, you are not a passive observer of life, you are its creator. The universe responds not to what you notice, but to what you project through focused thought and aligned emotion. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and bring to mind one desire you wish to manifest. For 5 minutes, immerse yourself fully in the experience of already having it. Feel it, see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, engage every sense. Make this a daily practice, strengthening the bridge between your inner vision and outer reality. Chapter 12. Desire. In the fading light of a winter afternoon, Caroline's weathered hands hovered over ivory piano keys. Though age had stiffened her fingers, something deeper stirred within her, a melody that had lived in her dreams for decades, waiting to be expressed. At 82, the world might say her time had passed, yet the music refused to remain silent. Your desires are not random impulses, they are messages from your soul. They are instructions guiding you toward the life you are meant to live. When a longing persists through time, surviving doubt and delay, it carries the mark of purpose. The universe speaks through desire, planting possibilities within you. These soul-driven desires differ from surface-level wants. They awaken not just excitement, but a deep sense of aliveness. When you feel this, you are touching your true path. The law of attraction responds most powerfully to desires that arise from this deeper place, not from lack, but from inner knowing. Your role is not to question or suppress these desires, but to recognize them as guidance. They are signposts pointing toward your destiny. Roy spent 30 years delivering sermons that no longer resonated within him. Each Sunday, his gaze drifted to the stained glass windows, not seeing religious imagery, but colors longing to become art. When he finally picked up a brush at 65, tears filled his eyes. Joy flowed through him like a long-blocked river finally released. His first painting hung crooked and amateurish in his study, yet it glowed with an authenticity his sermons had never achieved. What calls to you with a persistent voice is not a test or a temptation, it is an invitation. The universe plants these desires as seeds of your becoming. They arrive not to torment you with what cannot be, but to guide you toward what must be. Sacred practice. Take pen and paper to a quiet place where you can be undisturbed. Begin writing a letter to your deepest desire, the one that has whispered to you through the years. Start with the words. Thank you for persisting, for showing me where my soul longs to go. Let your words flow without censorship, acknowledging this desire as the sacred messenger it is. Express gratitude for its guidance, even if the path it illuminates seems impossible. Close your letter by affirming your willingness to honor this call, knowing it carries the blueprint of your highest expression. Chapter 13. The Guardian of Emotion. Florence moved through the hospital corridors with practiced grace, her footsteps echoing the steady rhythm of her heart. Over decades of service, she had witnessed a pattern too consistent to ignore. When peace filled her being, even the most critical patients showed remarkable improvement. Yet on days when anxiety crept into her spirit, those same patients would inexplicably decline. You possess within you an emotional guidance system of extraordinary precision. Like a compass pointing true north, your feelings offer moment-by-moment feedback about your alignment with universal law. This system speaks not through words, but through the language of sensation, the lightness of joy, the heaviness of doubt, the expansion of love, the contraction of fear. When you feel positive emotion, you are aligned with the frequency of your highest good. These moments of joy, peace, and excitement are not merely pleasant, they are confirmations that you are in harmony with your source. The law of attraction responds not to your words or actions, but to this vibrational offering. Negative emotions serve an equally sacred purpose. They are not punishments or signs of weakness, they are indicators that you have temporarily stepped out of alignment with your truth. When anxiety, anger, or sadness arise, they come not to condemn, but to redirect. These feelings ask not for suppression, but for gentle attention. Joseph returned from war carrying invisible wounds that no medicine could touch. For years, he fought against his emotions, seeing them as enemies to be conquered. But in a moment of surrender, he discovered a profound truth. His feelings were not his adversaries, they were his allies. Each surge of anger pointed to an unhealed memory. Every wave of fear revealed where peace was needed most. As he learned to listen rather than resist, his emotions became a map, getting him back to wholeness. Your emotional landscape offers continuous guidance about your alignment with universal law. Before any physical manifestation appears, emotion signals the way. Joy indicates alignment, discomfort reveals where attention is needed. This system operates with perfect accuracy, always guiding you toward greater harmony. Sacred practice. Set 3 alarms throughout your day, morning, afternoon, and evening. When each alarm sounds, pause completely. Take 3 conscious breaths, then turn your awareness inward. Name the emotion you feel, speaking it aloud without judgment or attachment. Ask softly, "What is this feeling showing me?" Allow the answer to arise naturally. Record your insights in a small notebook, noticing how your emotional state precedes the events of your day. Over time, you will begin to understand the sacred language of your inner guidance system. Chapter 14. The Echoes of the Hidden Mind. In a small shop at the edge of town, Mildred's fingers moved across fabric with decades of practiced skill. Yet lately, each careful stitch seemed to twist and tangle on its own. Her hands, once capable of creating masterpieces, now betrayed her at every turn. The more she tried to perfect her work, the more it unraveled. Within you exists a hidden architect of reality, the subconscious mind. Like an underground river shaping the land above, it silently directs the flow of your life. While your conscious mind sets intentions and speaks affirmations, your subconscious holds the true power of manifestation. The law of attraction responds not only to surface thoughts, but to the deep-seated beliefs stored within this inner realm. These beliefs, many formed before you could even speak, shape your reality with unwavering precision. When conscious desire conflicts with subconscious programming, the deeper pattern always prevails. Your subconscious reveals itself through patterns, recurring situations, persistent obstacles, familiar struggles. These are not random, they are messages rising from within, showing where transformation must begin. Harold grew up hearing quiet fears about scarcity, absorbing the belief that people like us don't have money. Though he later studied success principles and repeated affirmations of abundance, lack continued to follow him. Only when he traced these beliefs back to their origin, recognizing them as inherited stories rather than truth, did his reality begin to change. Transformation requires a gentle excavation of the soul. Your subconscious is not your enemy, it simply holds what it has been taught. By bringing these hidden beliefs into awareness, you begin the work of rewriting them. Sacred practice. Complete this sentence 5 times. I believe because. Write without filtering, let buried beliefs rise to the surface. For each one, create a new statement aligned with truth and possibility. Speak both the old belief and the new one aloud. Notice how each feels in your body, the heaviness of the old, the lightness of the new. Pay attention to these sensations. They reveal what is ready to be released and what is ready to be embraced. Through this practice, you illuminate the patterns shaping your reality and begin the sacred process of transformation. Chapter 15. Your worthiness is not measured by your exhaustion or sacrifice. It is your birthright, requiring only your acceptance. In a quiet workshop filled with wood shavings, Oscar crafted pieces of extraordinary beauty, yet when customers offered to pay what his work was truly worth, he would quote prices far below value, saying, "It's just something I love doing." His art remained a hobby, his talent undernourished, until a wise friend asked, "By undervaluing your gifts, whose light are you dimming?" To receive fully is to honor the sacred exchange of energy that flows through all life. Each time you allow yourself to receive with grace, you strengthen your alignment with abundance. Your acceptance becomes a form of gratitude, a recognition of the universe's desire to support you. Sacred practice. Stand in an open space, feet planted firmly on the ground. Raise your arms to the sky, palms facing upward in a gesture of receptivity. Feel yourself as a channel through which blessings can flow. With full presence, speak these words: "I am ready and willing to receive with ease, joy, and gratitude." Let the truth of these words resonate in your body. Notice any resistance that arises and gently release it with your breath. Chapter 19. When the doubt comes, bless it. In the depths of winter, Dorothy knelt before her husband's grave, her faith as cold as the marble stone. Each morning, she would trace his name with trembling fingers, wondering why her prayers had gone unanswered. Until one night, in the space between sleeping and waking, a dream unfolded like an ancient scroll. You stand now where countless souls have stood before, in the sacred valley between certainty and questioning. Your doubt is not a sign of weakness or abandonment. It is the universe's invitation to deeper understanding. When the foundations shake, truth does not crumble, it reveals itself anew. The law of attraction operates not through blind faith, but through alignment with truth. This alignment sometimes requires the courage to question, to examine, to stand in the uncomfortable space of not knowing. Your doubts are not obstacles to manifestation. They are the chisel that sculpts stronger conviction. When you feel lost in uncertainty, remember, the universe does not require perfect faith. It responds to your dominant vibration, your underlying knowing beneath the waves of doubt. Like a compass needle that trembles before finding true north, your questioning mind is simply calibrating to a higher truth. Stanley, a renowned physician, built his life on scientific certainty. Each diagnosis required absolute proof, each treatment backed by studies. Yet when his own child lay failing, no textbook held answers. In that moment of profound helplessness, he discovered that sometimes the deepest knowing comes through surrendering to uncertainty. His daughter's miraculous recovery came not through medical intervention, but through his willingness to trust beyond evidence. Your current doubt is not a sign of spiritual failure, it is evidence of spiritual growth. Just as muscles must be stretched to grow stronger, faith must sometimes be stretched through questioning to grow deeper. The law of attraction works most powerfully not when doubt is absent, but when it is acknowledged and transformed into conscious choice. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment with your journal, away from the distractions of the world. Draw a line down the middle of the page, creating two columns that represent the eternal dance between doubt and faith. Let your doubt speak freely on one side, expressing all its questions, fears, and uncertainties without judgment or restraint. Your doubts are not your enemy, they are messengers seeking understanding. Then allow faith to respond on the other side, not with defensive certainty or rigid proclamations, but with gentle wisdom and compassionate insight. Write this dialogue until both voices feel heard and honored in their truth. Notice how doubt and faith are not opposites, but rather two aspects of the same seeking heart. End by holding both perspectives in your heart, breathing deeply as you embrace this sacred duality. Know that this conversation itself is part of your spiritual evolution, a necessary step on the path to deeper understanding. In this acceptance of both doubt and faith, you open yourself to wisdom that transcends either extreme. Chapter 20. The Second Key. In a small village among rolling hills, Agatha sat at her weathered sewing table, her fingers moving with practiced precision over fabric fit for royalty. Though her own dress was patched and faded, each stitch she placed in the fine silk and velvet carried the certainty of abundance. The villagers whispered that poverty had finally claimed her sanity, but Agatha simply smiled, knowing that what others saw as madness was actually mastery of universal law. You must understand this sacred truth. The universe responds not to what is, but to what you embody. Your current circumstances are merely echoes of past vibrations. To create a new reality, you must first become the energy of what you seek. This is the deeper teaching of the law of attraction. It is not enough to simply think about your desires or speak of them in future tense. You must inhabit them now, at this moment. When you shift your identity to align with your vision, the universe has no choice but to reflect this new frequency back to you. Many wait for evidence before believing, but this inverts the natural order of creation. First comes the inner shift, then the outer manifestation follows. Your role is not to figure out how your desires will manifest, but to embody the consciousness of already having received them. Consider Elmer, who dreamed of singing before thousands. Each morning, he would wake before dawn and walk to an empty field. There, he would bow to invisible audiences, project his voice as if filling a grand hall, and carry himself with the quiet dignity of an accomplished performer. The power of sacred focus. In the days before automated beacons, Eugene tended his lighthouse with unwavering dedication. Night after night, he polished the great lens until it gleamed like a star pulled down from heaven. Through tempests that shook the tower's foundation, through fog that swallowed the world whole, his beam cut through darkness, a steady ray of hope guiding lost ships home. Your attention holds this same sacred power. Like Eugene's beam, it illuminates what you choose to see, drawing it into sharper focus, while the rest fades to shadow. This is not mere metaphor. It is the living law that shapes your reality. What you consistently illuminate with your attention grows stronger, more vibrant, more present in your experience. The universe responds to sustained focus with unerring precision. Each thought you hold steadily becomes a beacon, drawing more of its likeness toward you. This is why scattered attention creates scattered results. Like a light swinging wildly in the dark, it fails to create a clear path forward. Your mind is the lens through which the infinite possibilities of life come into form. When you maintain steady focus on what you desire, you become like Eugene's lighthouse, a fixed point of attraction around which reality arranges itself. This requires not perfection, but persistence. It asks only that you return your light, again and again, to what you wish to illuminate. Ruby, a mother of 3 young children, found herself drowning in chaos until she learned this truth. Instead of cataloging what was wrong, she began focusing solely on moments of harmony, no matter how small. Where she once saw only mess, she trained her attention to find order. Where she once felt overwhelmed, she looked for evidence of capability. Gradually, like ships drawn to Eugene's beam, more of what she focused on appeared in her life. Your focus is not just observation, it is creation in motion. Each day presents countless moments where you can choose where to shine your light. Will you illuminate what's wrong or what's working? Will you focus on lack or on abundance in its many forms? The law of attraction responds not to what is but to what you consistently hold in the field of your attention. Sacred practice. Select one intention that calls to your heart for 2 minutes each morning and night. Shine the full beam of your attention upon it. See it clearly, feel it deeply, hold it steadily in your mind's eye, like Eugene's unwavering light. Let your focus cut through all distraction, all doubt, all competing thoughts. This concentrated beam of attention becomes your lighthouse, calling your intention home across the waters of possibility. Chapter 16. The Paradox of the Open Hand. Franklin's collection of ancient timepieces was renowned throughout the land. Each clock held stories of centuries past within its delicate gears. Yet among them all, a simple pocket watch inherited from his grandfather remained his most treasured possession. One morning, the watch vanished, seemingly into thin air. Franklin searched frantically, his mind consumed by its absence, his heart heavy with loss. The art of allowing is perhaps the most misunderstood aspect of manifestation. You have been taught that achievement comes through force, through relentless pursuit, through white-knuckled determination. Yet the universe operates by different laws. When you grasp too tightly, you create resistance. When you chase too desperately, you push away what you seek. The law of attraction responds most powerfully to a state of peaceful allowing. This is not passive resignation but active trust. It is the wisdom to plant the seed, tend the soil, and then step back, allowing the natural forces of growth to unfold in their own perfect timing. Consider how a flower blooms. It does not force its petals open. It does not strain or struggle. It simply allows the inherent intelligence of life to express through it. Your desires seek to bloom in the same way. Lillian discovered this truth through years of seeking love. The more intensely she pursued relationships, the more they eluded her. Only when she released her desperate search, turning instead to nurturing self-love and inner peace, did authentic connection find its way to her door. The very thing she had chased so long arrived effortlessly when she surrendered the chase. Franklin's story, too, held this lesson. After months of searching, he finally accepted the watch's loss. In that acceptance, he began noticing the present moment more fully. One day, a stranger entered his shop carrying an unusual timepiece. This piece, far rarer than his grandfather's watch, came with a story that would transform Franklin's understanding of time itself. What he had lost led him to something far more precious, but only after he loosened his grip on what was gone. When you release your iron grip on outcomes, you create space for the universe to deliver something even greater than you imagined. This is not about abandoning your desires, but about trusting in the infinite wisdom that orchestrates all of life. Sacred practice: take a piece of paper and write your heart's desire upon it. Feel the truth of your longing, but then fold the paper gently as if wrapping it in love. Place it in a special location, perhaps a jewelry box beneath a crystal or near your bedside. As you do this, speak these words with quiet certainty: I trust you will arrive in divine timing. Let this ritual be your declaration of faith in perfect unfolding. Chapter 17. The Light in the Shadow. In a small chapel among ancient oaks, Russell stood at his pulpit each Sunday, his voice thundering with righteous certainty. Yet in the quiet moments before dawn, when the church lay empty and still, his fingers would drift to the piano keys, drawing forth melodies that spoke of a different kind of devotion. These stolen moments of music were his secret shame, a passion he believed unworthy of his calling. You have been taught that certain parts of yourself must remain hidden, that some desires are too worldly, too simple, or too bold to acknowledge. Yet in this concealment lies the very resistance that blocks your creative force. The law of attraction responds not to the face you show the world, but to the complete vibration of your being, including those parts you've tried to bury. When you deny any aspect of yourself, you create an energetic split that diffuses your manifestation power. Your hidden truths do not disappear. They transmute into shadows that quietly shape your reality. Integration means bringing these fragments into wholeness, allowing all parts of yourself to exist in the light of acceptance. In a bustling city office, Marjorie built her empire on an image of flawless success. Her designer suits and commanding presence masked a deep shame about her early business failures. Each achievement was shadowed by the memory of past mistakes. Until the weight of perfection became unbearable. It was only when she began sharing her story of failure, first with herself, then with others, that true abundance flowed into her life. Her vulnerability became her strength. Her mistakes transformed into wisdom. Your shadow holds not darkness, but buried treasure. Those parts of yourself you judge most harshly often contain your greatest gifts. The universe does not require you to be perfect. It invites you to be whole. Sacred practice: find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, a sacred corner where your soul can speak freely. Light a candle if you wish, letting its gentle flame symbolize illumination of your deepest truths. Take several deep centering breaths until you feel your body relax and your mind grow still. Then, with pen in hand, write a letter beginning with these words: To the part of me I've been afraid to love. Let your words flow without judgment or hesitation, like water finding its natural course. Offer understanding and compassion to this hidden aspect of yourself, acknowledging its pain, its fears, and its wisdom. Recognize that this shadow self has been protecting you all along, even if in ways you couldn't see before. Close your letter with a promise of acceptance and integration, knowing that in this loving embrace of all that you are, you free your creative power to flow fully once more. In making peace with your whole self, you unlock the abundance that has always been waiting to emerge. Chapter 18. The Ritual of Receiving. In a small village known for its healing traditions, Pauline moved swiftly between birthing rooms, her skilled hands getting new life into the world. For 30 years, she had served countless families, yet she waved away their gifts of gratitude. "Your health is all I need," she would say, hurrying to the next mother in need. Her own garden lay untended, her meals often forgotten, her rest perpetually postponed. One night after a particularly challenging birth, an elderly woman appeared at her door. "You give life to others," the woman said, offering a steaming cup of herbal tea, "but deny it to yourself." As Pauline began her usual refusal, the woman simply held up her hand. "To reject a gift," she said softly, "is to deny the giver their joy. You have learned to give, to serve, to pour yourself outward, but the universe operates in cycles of give and receive, like the eternal rhythm of breath. When you block receiving, you create resistance in the natural flow of abundance. This resistance ripples through all areas of your life, limiting not just what you can receive, but ultimately what you can give. The law of attraction responds not just to your desires, but to your capacity to receive them. When you consistently deflect blessings, praise, or support, you signal to the universe that you are not ready for more. The villagers mocked his daily ritual until the day a traveling impresario heard his voice carrying across the morning mist. Within months, Elmer stood on the very stage he had imagined countless times in solitude. The key lies not in pretending, but in recognizing a deeper truth. The version of you who has already received your desire exists now. Your task is to step into this truth, to let it inform your choices, movements, and energy. When you truly embody this alignment, the outer world must reshape itself to match your inner reality. Sacred practice: choose one desire close to your heart. Ask yourself, how would I move through my day if this were already my reality? Then, select one action that this version of you would naturally take. Perhaps it's the way you greet the morning, arrange your space, or speak to others. Commit to embodying this new way of being for the next 7 days, knowing that each moment of alignment is a command to the universe. Part 3. The Sacred Mastery of Reality. Chapter 21. The Dream Within the Dreamer. In a dimly lit study, Esther sat before her writing desk each evening, crafting tales that seemed to flow through her rather than from her. At first, she noticed small coincidences: a character's chance encounter mirrored in her morning commute, a fictional conversation echoed in her afternoon meeting. But as her awareness deepened, she witnessed entire plot lines materializing in the world around her, as if her pen had become a wand conducting the symphony of reality. You are in this moment discovering what Esther uncovered. The boundary between imagination and reality is far more permeable than you have been led to believe. Your consciousness is not contained within your mind. It is the very substance from which your world is shaped. The law of attraction reveals itself here in its most profound form. You are not merely attracting experiences, you are dreaming them into being. Every thought, every emotion, every belief is a brushstroke on the canvas of existence. This is not metaphor, it is the fundamental nature of reality. Just as a dreamer creates and experiences their nighttime adventures simultaneously, you are both the author and protagonist of your life story. The universe is not responding to your requests, it is expressing through you as you. Milton, a philosopher who had long pondered the nature of reality, began practicing lucid dreaming. In his nocturnal explorations, he discovered that dream environments responded instantly to his conscious intentions. One night, in the midst of a particularly vivid dream, he realized, if I can shape this reality through consciousness alone, what if the waking world operates by the same principle? This revelation transformed his approach to daily life. He began to move through his days with the same aware presence he had cultivated in his dreams, recognizing each moment as an opportunity for conscious creation. His reality began shifting with the same fluidity he had experienced in sleep, though at a different pace. You are now invited to awaken within the dream of your life. The circumstances you see around you are not fixed. They are more like dream images, waiting to be reshaped by your awakened consciousness. The law of attraction is not a force you must learn to use. It is the very mechanism of your own awareness, expressing itself through the dream of physical reality. Sacred practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, create a sacred moment of transition. Sit quietly in your bed and speak these words with full presence. Tonight, I remember that I am the dreamer. Keep a journal by your bedside, and upon waking, record whatever dreams visit you, no matter how fragmentary they may seem. Continue this practice for 3 nights, understanding that your dreams are showing you the fluid nature of reality itself. Chapter 22. The soul's rhythm moves the clock. In the quiet village where time seemed to flow like honey, Gladys spent her childhood watching her father repair timepieces. Each morning, as sunlight filtered through dusty workshop windows, she observed how the mechanical hearts of watches beat in perfect rhythm. Yet she noticed something peculiar. When her father worked with love, time appeared to slow, each second expanding like a breath. When he rushed, frustrated by a difficult repair, the hours seemed to collapse into moments of discord. You too have felt this truth. Time is not the rigid master you were taught to believe. It bends and flows with the current of your consciousness, expanding in moments of presence and contracting when you resist what is. The law of attraction operates not by the tick of clock hands, but by the readiness of your being. When you align with the natural rhythm of creation, you step into divine timing. Your desires manifest not according to your carefully planned schedule, but in perfect accordance with universal order. This is not about patience. It is about presence. Each moment contains exactly what is meant for your evolution. Those who understand this truth cease their exhausting battle with time. They recognize that forcing, rushing, and anxious waiting create resistance that only delays what is meant to arrive. The universe operates with impeccable precision, orchestrating countless elements to bring about your highest good. Alfred, a young soldier in times of war, ran breathlessly toward his train, only to watch it depart without him. Frustration and fear gripped his heart until news arrived that the train had met with tragedy. What seemed like cruel misfortune was life's protecting hand. In that moment, Alfred understood. Sometimes the greatest gift is not getting what you want when you think you should have it. What appears as delay in your life is often divine protection, redirection, or preparation. Those unanswered prayers, those closed doors, those moments when life seems to move too slowly, these are not obstacles to your good, but shepherds guiding you toward it. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Take 3 deep breaths, allowing your awareness to settle into the present moment. Now, reflect on 3 instances in your life when apparent delays or detours led to unexpected blessings. Perhaps a missed opportunity led to something greater, a relationship that didn't work out made space for true love, or a career setback redirected you toward your authentic path. Write these experiences down, noting how what seemed like unfortunate timing revealed itself as perfect orchestration. Let this reflection deepen your trust in divine timing. Chapter 23. The temple is within you. In the hushed shadows of an ancient cathedral, Nora moved silently through empty aisles each dawn. Her cloth passed over marble and wood, but her heart sensed something deeper. While others marveled at towering spires and brilliant windows, she discovered that true sanctity dwelled in the quiet moments between her footsteps. You too are discovering this timeless truth. The sacred temple you seek has always resided within. While humanity has built magnificent structures reaching toward heaven, the divine has been quietly waiting in the sanctuary of your own heart. The law of attraction operates most powerfully when you recognize that you are not reaching for something outside yourself. You are awakening to what already dwells within. Your body is not merely flesh and bone, but a living altar where infinite wisdom resides. Your breath is not simply air, but the holy current of life itself moving through you. Many spend lifetimes searching sacred sites and ancient texts, believing enlightenment lies in external discovery. Yet the universe has placed its greatest mysteries within the temple of your own being. In stillness, in the space between thoughts, in the quiet chamber of your heart, here lies the gateway to all that you seek. Wendell, a devoted monk, spent 20 years studying scripture in a remote monastery. Each day he pored over holy books, seeking divine connection through written words. One morning, as dawn painted the mountains gold, he simply stopped. In that moment of surrender, he noticed his breath rising and falling like waves on an infinite shore. In this simple awareness, he found what decades of study could not reveal. The divine was not in the books. It was in the breath. it was in the silence. It was in him. This truth beckons you now. The sacred space you seek is not found in distant pilgrimages or elaborate rituals. It awaits in the temple of your own presence. When you enter the silence within, you align with the very source of creation. Sacred practice, find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Place your hand gently over your heart, feeling its steady rhythm beneath your palm. Close your eyes and allow your breath to become soft and natural. For 5 minutes, repeat these words with each breath. I am the temple. The divine dwells here. Let each repetition sink deeper, awakening the remembrance of your own sacred nature. This is not mere meditation. It is communion with the infinite within you. Chapter 24. The Sacred Flow of Giving and Receiving. In a small village among rolling hills, Joanna rose before dawn each morning to bake bread. The aroma of her creations drew people from miles around, and she gave freely to all who came. Yet when others offered help or kindness in return, she would turn away, insisting she needed nothing. Her generosity flowed outward endlessly, but her heart remained closed to receiving. You may recognize yourself in Joanna's story. How often have you given freely of your time, energy, and resources, only to deflect when abundance attempts to flow back to you? This pattern reveals a profound truth about the nature of universal flow. The law of attraction operates through perfect balance. Like the breath itself, there must be both inhale and exhale. When you resist receiving, you create a blockage in this sacred circuit. Your resistance sends a signal to the universe: I am not worthy of receiving, and so it must be. Many believe that constant giving is the highest virtue, yet giving without receiving creates energetic debt, not just in material resources, but in the soul itself. True abundance flows in a perfect circle of exchange. Each time you block receiving, you interrupt this divine dance. Terence, a skilled craftsman, spent years creating beautiful furniture for others while living in bare rooms himself. He took pride in charging less than his work was worth, believing this made him noble. His workshop flourished with activity, yet his own life remained empty. One day, a wise woman offered him a gift, a finely carved chair. His first impulse was to refuse, but something made him pause, take a deep breath, and simply say, "Thank you." This single act of receiving began a transformation. As he learned to accept the abundance others offered, his entire life shifted into balance. His work became more valued, his prices aligned with worth, and his home filled with beauty. The universe seeks equilibrium in all things. When you resist receiving, you deny others the joy of giving. You break the sacred circle of exchange. Your resistance becomes a declaration to the universe that you deserve less than you give. This moment invites you to restore balance. The law of attraction responds not to what you do, but to what you believe you deserve. As you open to receiving, you align with the natural flow of abundance. Sacred practice. Today, when someone offers help, appreciation, or a gift, no matter how small, pause, take a deep breath, look them in the eyes, and simply say, "Thank you." Feel the gift enter your heart without deflection or explanation. Let yourself be nourished by their giving. In this simple act of receiving, you restore sacred balance and open the channel for greater abundance to flow. Chapter 25. Symbols. In a quiet corner of a small coastal town, Iris arranged her stamps with careful precision. Each morning, she sorted through new arrivals, cataloging their origins and designs. Yet something shifted when she noticed the same lighthouse appearing on 3 consecutive days, each from a different country. Her analytical mind dismissed it as coincidence, until the lighthouses began appearing in her dreams, on billboards, even in casual conversation. You live in a universe that speaks in whispers and winks, in symbols and sacred repetition. The language of creation is not bound by words alone. It flows through numbers that catch your eye, animals that cross your path at meaningful moments, and dreams that echo through your days. The universe crafts a unique dialogue with each soul. What appears random to others becomes profound significance to you. A butterfly may herald transformation, while a key might signal an opening door. These symbols form your personal spiritual alphabet, a sacred language between you and the divine. When Bernard first noticed owls appearing before moments of insight, he dismissed them as ordinary occurrences. Yet, as a pattern emerged, an owl calling the night before his promotion, another perched outside his window before meeting his future wife, he began to trust this winged messenger of wisdom. The universe had chosen his personal symbol, and in learning to read it, he discovered a guide more reliable than logic alone. Your life speaks in metaphor, the recurring dream, the song that follows you through the day, the number sequence that appears on clocks and receipts. These are not coincidences but conversation. The universe extends these symbols as bridges between the seen and unseen realms. To begin this sacred dialogue, you must first acknowledge its possibility, release the need for proof, and open yourself to wonder. Notice what captures your attention repeatedly, what images or themes persist in your awareness. These are the first letters in your divine alphabet. The law of attraction operates not just through thought and emotion, but through symbolic resonance. As you attune to these subtle messages, you align more deeply with universal flow. Each recognized symbol becomes a stepping stone on your path of manifestation. Sacred practice, in this moment, speak silently to the universe. Show me a sign that you hear me. Release all expectations of how this sign should appear. Throughout your day, remain alert but relaxed. Note the first unusual image, number, or symbol that draws your attention. This is your message. Write it down. Sit with its meaning. Trust that the universe has chosen this symbol specifically for you. Let its wisdom unfold in the quiet spaces of your heart. Chapter 26. You are the oracle you've been waiting for. In a small mountain chapel, Clifford lit candles each dawn, seeking divine messages. For 40 years, he had served as pastor, guiding others to truth. Now retired, he found himself desperately searching for signs in scripture, in nature, in the words of other teachers. Each new book promised revelation. Each workshop offered enlightenment, yet something felt incomplete. You, like Clifford, may have walked this path of seeking, the endless pursuit of external validation, the constant looking outside for what already dwells within. This seeking is not wrong. It is a sacred step on the journey. But there comes a moment when the universe whispers, "Turn within." One night, Clifford dreamed of standing before a vast mirror in an ancient temple. As he reached out to touch its surface, the mirror dissolved, revealing that what he thought was his reflection was actually his true self. Gazing back, he awoke understanding. The teacher he sought had always been his own heart's wisdom. The law of attraction operates through your inner knowing. External guides may illuminate the path, but the power to create flows from within. Your body holds wisdom. Your dreams carry messages. Your intuition speaks truth. The universe placed this guidance system within you at birth. It requires only your willingness to listen. Grace, a healing practitioner, spent years collecting certificates and studying with masters. Yet her breakthrough came when she stopped seeking and started trusting the wisdom that arose in silence. During client sessions, she began listening to her body's subtle signals. In meditation, she allowed her own inner voice to guide her. The clarity she had searched for in workshops and books emerged naturally from her depths. You carry within you an infinite well of knowing. Every question you've asked has an answer waiting in the quiet chambers of your heart. The law of attraction responds most powerfully when you align with this inner truth. External teachers serve as mirrors, reflecting back what you already know but may have forgotten. Sacred practice, find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Write down one question that has been weighing on your heart. Close your eyes and place your hand over your heart center. Take 3 deep breaths, allowing your awareness to settle into this sacred space. Now silently ask your question and wait. Listen not with your ears, but with your whole being. The answer may come as a feeling, an image, a knowing, or words. Trust what arises. Open your eyes and write down what you received without judgment or analysis. This is your inner teacher speaking. Chapter 27. The Golden Thread of Unshakable Faith. High on a lonely cliff, Eliza kept the lighthouse beacon burning night after night. Her husband had been lost at sea years ago, yet she maintained her vigil with unwavering dedication. While others questioned her persistence, she understood a truth beyond their comprehension, that faith is not measured in visible results, but in the steady flame of knowing. You too stand at the threshold of invisible becoming visible. The law of attraction responds not to wishful thinking, but to unshakable knowing. Faith is the bridge between what your eyes can see and what your heart knows is coming. It is not blind hope, but rather a deep alignment with universal truth. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up each day to check its progress. You water it, knowing the laws of nature will fulfill their promise. So too must you tend the garden of your desires, not with anxiety or doubt, but with the calm assurance that what is meant for you is already in motion. Reuben, a farmer's son, inherited a barren field that others had abandoned. Each morning at dawn, he would walk the empty soil, speaking blessings over the land as if it were already blooming with wildflowers. Neighbors thought him touched by madness, until one spring morning, when the field erupted in a tapestry of colors, flowers that hadn't grown in that valley for generations. The universe responds to the frequency of your faith. When you speak to your desires as if they are already manifested, you align with the creative force that brings all things into being. Faith is not about convincing yourself of what isn't real. It is about recognizing what is already true on an energetic level. Your desires are not random wishes. They are divine seeds planted in your heart. The law of attraction requires you to water these seeds with unwavering faith. Even when no evidence of growth appears on the surface, like Eliza's lighthouse beam cutting through the darkest night, your faith illuminates the path for your manifestations to find their way to you. Sacred practice. Each morning, as the sun rises, stand in a quiet space. Place your hand over your heart and speak these words with the certainty of one who knows. What I have asked for is already making its way to me. Feel the truth of these words in every cell of your being. Let your faith become a beacon that guides your desires home. Chapter 28. The Energy of Becoming. In a small town known for its simplicity, Pearl sat at her sewing machine each evening, crafting garments not just for others, but for the woman she knew herself to be. Though her current circumstances spoke of limitation, she chose silk instead of cotton, adorned herself with grace instead of practicality. She understood an ancient truth: outer reflection shapes inner reality. You too hold this power of energetic alignment. The law of attraction responds not to what you wish for, but to who you are being. When you embody the energy of your desires, you become a magnetic force that draws that reality into manifestation. This is not pretense or falsehood, it is vibrational truth. Your current circumstances may whisper of what has been, but your energy can sing of what will be. Each morning as you dress, each word as you speak, each step as you walk, these are opportunities to align with the frequency of your desired reality. The universe responds to your energetic signature, not your physical situation. Gordon worked in the basement mailroom of a prestigious firm, but he carried himself with the dignity of an executive. He began wearing suits that stretched his budget, speaking with the authority of leadership, making decisions with the confidence of someone already in command. His colleagues smiled at what seemed like premature promotion, until the day he was called upstairs, not to deliver mail, but to take his place in the boardroom. What you may not realize is that Gordon's promotion was not the cause of his transformation. His transformation magnetized the promotion. The law of attraction operates through this principle of energetic matching. When you vibrationally become the person who has what you desire, reality must reshape itself to mirror this truth. Look at your life now, not as it appears, but as it is becoming. Who would you be if your desires were already manifested? How would you move through your day? What energy would you bring to each interaction? This is not about pretending. It is about aligning with the highest version of yourself that already exists in potential. Sacred practice. Choose one aspect of your desired reality and embody it fully today. Dress as that version of yourself would dress. Speak as they would speak. Move as they would move. Let your entire being radiate the energy of your desire fulfilled. Then observe how the world begins to respond to this new frequency you are emanating. Chapter 29. The Third Key. In the heart of a bustling financial district, Marian stood at her office window, gripping reports and market projections with white knuckles. For 20 years, she had built her empire through sheer force of will, pushing against every obstacle, controlling every detail. Yet now, as markets shifted and challenges mounted, she felt the universe teaching her a different kind of strength. You too may recognize this pattern, the exhausting cycle of forcing, controlling, and striving. Yet the law of attraction reveals a deeper truth. Power does not come from pushing against life, but from aligning with its flow. When you release the need to manipulate every outcome, you tap into a greater current of creation. True power emerges not from domination, but from divine partnership. Your role is not to force the universe into submission, but to align your energy with what you desire and allow it to manifest through divine orchestration. This requires a profound trust, knowing that what you seek is already in motion. Chester spent decades in his workshop, desperately trying to prove his brilliance through invention after invention. Each failure drove him to work harder, push longer, and force solutions that wouldn't come. It wasn't until he lost everything, his funding, his reputation, his self-imposed pressure to succeed, that the breakthrough arrived. In that space of surrender, when he no longer needed to prove anything to anyone, his greatest innovation flowed through him with ease. This story mirrors a universal truth. The law of attraction operates most powerfully in the space of surrendered certainty. It is not passive resignation, but active alignment. When you release the grip of ego and trust in the perfect unfolding of your desires, you enter a state of magnetic receptivity. The paradox is this: your greatest power lies in knowing you don't need to use force at all. The universe responds not to your struggle, but to your alignment. When you release the need to control the how, and instead trust in the what, you open the way for infinite intelligence to orchestrate outcomes far beyond what your limited perspective could imagine. Sacred practice: write this declaration and speak it aloud. I do not chase, I align, I trust, I receive. Let these words sink deeply into your being, a reminder that true power flows through surrender. Chapter 30. The path is yours now. In a village untouched by time, where cobblestone streets still whispered with ancient secrets, lived an elderly woman named Harriet. Each morning she sat on her wooden bench, observing travelers with knowing eyes. In her hands rested a book, not just any book, but one that had found her decades ago and now sought its next keeper. You have journeyed through these chapters, uncovering truths that have always lived within you. Now, as this journey concludes, know that you stand at the threshold of a greater beginning. The wisdom you have gathered is not meant to remain dormant. It seeks expression through your life. When Harriet placed the book into the hands of a passing stranger, she completed a sacred cycle of transmission. Just as these teachings found you when your spirit was ready, you will also recognize those whose souls are prepared to receive. You become the living embodiment of these principles, not through preaching, but through presence. The law of attraction is more than a tool to manifest desires. It is the very essence of conscious evolution. As you embody these truths, you naturally radiate light, silently illuminating possibilities for others. Your alignment becomes an invitation. Your peace becomes permission. Your abundance becomes inspiration. The universe now calls you to a higher octave of being. You are no longer merely a student of these laws, you are their living expression. Your life becomes the teaching, your presence the proof, your journey a map for others. This is not about formal instruction. It is about allowing your transformed consciousness to ripple outward in perfect divine timing. Like Harriet, who knew precisely when and to whom to pass the book, you will find yourself guided to share these truths in ways both subtle and profound. The universe will orchestrate encounters, align circumstances, and create opportunities for your light to shine. Trust the unfolding. Sacred practice: write a sacred vow to yourself, how you will live, serve, and embody these truths from this moment forward. Let your words arise from the depths of your understanding, reflecting the power and responsibility of your awakened consciousness. Pour your heart into this declaration. This is not just a promise, it is a covenant with the universe, a testament to your commitment to walk a fully illuminated path. Feel the resonance of each word, ensuring it vibrates with authenticity and divine purpose. Your vow becomes a living bridge between the self you are today and the radiant being you are becoming. Conclusion. Through these chapters, you have walked an ancient path of remembrance. The teachings you encountered were mirrors, reflecting the wisdom that has always resided within you. Each parable, each principle, each practice served not to instruct, but to awaken, gently drawing forth the knowing your soul has carried through countless lifetimes. The law of attraction is not a skill to master, it is the essence of who you are. You are not merely attracting, you are creating. You are not simply manifesting, you are becoming. The power you sought was never hidden in secret texts or sacred teachings. It has always lived in your breath, your thoughts, your feelings, your very being. Now you stand at this threshold, no longer as a seeker, but as the sought. The universe orchestrated every moment that led you here, not to reveal something new, but to remind you of what you have always been. You are the living embodiment of universal laws, the conscious expression of divine intelligence. Let this truth settle deeply into your bones. You were never meant merely to learn these principles, you were meant to embody them. Your life is not a journey toward power, but a revelation of the power that has always been yours. Every challenge, every doubt, every moment of questioning served to strip away illusions, leaving only the truth of your innate authority. You no longer need external validation. The guidance you sought flows through you. The signs you awaited now emanate from within. This is not the end of a book. It is the beginning of conscious co-creation with the universe. Walk forward now, not as one who has learned, but as one who has remembered. Let your presence teach, your peace grant permission, and your joy offer invitation. You are not just a chapter in this story, you are the author of reality itself. You were always the key, you were always the truth, you were always enough.